The Martian Gambit. 2080. The Martian winds, once a symbol of insurmountable hostility, now whispered of unprecedented opportunity. By 2073, the Red Seed mission, a testament to humanity's audacious venture into autonomous engineering, had completed its foundational work. Acidalia planitia, once a desolate expanse, now hosted fully autonomous, radiation-shielded habitats, humming with power and life support. Mars was not merely a rock, it was a promise. It was ready for man. The present frame timeline was 2080. Dr. Aris Thorne, the visionary behind the Red Seed program, now found himself less a celebrated scientist and more a reluctant, weary diplomat. His triumph, the successful automated construction of Earth's first Martian foothold, had not paved a smooth path for colonization. Instead, the completion of the basic infrastructure had ignited a furious, multi-fronted struggle back on Earth. The Red Planet, meticulously prepared by tireless machines, became the ultimate prize in an escalating geopolitical game. Every nation, every major corporate entity, now cast their greedy gaze upon the nascent settlements. On Earth, the news of Mars's readiness was met with a desperate, almost primal, clamor. Global populations swelled uncontrollably, pushing resource scarcity to breaking points. Climate shocks were a constant threat, and habitable land was shrinking. Mars, with its promise of vast new resources and immense living space, represented a vital escape valve, a literal fresh start. Yet, the question of who would settle Mars and, more importantly, under whose authority its immense wealth would be exploited, quickly became a flashpoint for renewed conflict among Earth-based blocs. The fragile unity forged in some sectors of Earth was tested by the prospect of a new world to conquer. The Multinational Space Authority, MSA, convened a series of emergency summits, each one more contentious than the last. Chairman Lee, a predecessor to the Jian Li who would later grapple with NAAA, stood at the podium, declaring Mars a common heritage of humanity. This lofty phrase, however, was quickly interpreted by the assembled powers as an invitation to battle for its control. Every nation, every major corporation with spacefaring ambitions, sought to secure a substantial piece of the Martian pie, not just for settlement but for resource exploitation and strategic advantage. The debates quickly devolved into a heated competition for influence, resources, and future power. OmniCorp Ventures, already a formidable corporate power with a burgeoning presence in space, was among the most aggressive and vocal claimants. They already operated extensive mining facilities in the asteroid belt, their wealth and political ties unparalleled. Silas Thorne Senior, the corporate titan whose shadow stretched across Earth, now cast his formidable gaze upon Mars. He proposed an ambitious, centrally managed plan for OmniCorp to oversee all Martian resource extraction and infrastructure development. He promised rapid expansion, unprecedented profitability, and efficient management, bypassing the perceived inefficiencies of national governments and offering immediate solutions to Earth's pressing needs. His vision was a corporate-managed Mars, streamlined for maximum output. OmniCorp's proposal is enticing, Dr. Thorne, Chairman Lee admitted during a secure, private briefing with Aris. Lee's voice was tinged with a weariness that belied his powerful position. Their economic models project unprecedented growth, billions in return. But it would grant them unprecedented, almost absolute, power over the Red Planet and its future. Aris, his focus always on the scientific and ethical implications of his work, felt a growing, profound unease. He had built a home for humanity on Mars, not a corporate fiefdom. The Red Seed was designed for human settlement, Chairman, for the long-term health of a viable, self-sustaining colony, not just for immediate, ruthless resource exploitation. OmniCorp's methods are aggressive. Their pursuit of profit often overrides other considerations. We saw their early territorial claims on Earth. Mars cannot become a new corporate battleground. Meanwhile, the Nordic Arc Aerospace Alliance, NAAA, with its deep roots in sustainable, modular deep space operations, presented a compelling counterproposal. Eric Hansen Senior, a nascent but astute NAAA negotiator, argued for a collaborative, scientific approach to Martian development. NAAA offered its proven expertise in modular construction, closed-loop life support, and efficient, sustainable resource management, all honed through years of meticulous orbital operations. They proposed a system of transparent, shared development, emphasizing long-term ecological stability and gradual, controlled growth over immediate profit. Their vision for Mars was one of careful stewardship, reflecting the pragmatic, community-oriented values of their member nations. They envisioned a Mars that would be truly self-sufficient, not merely a resource outpost. NAA's proposal is technologically sound, Dr. Thorne, chairmanly confided, a genuine note of appreciation in his voice. Their emphasis on sustainability is admirable, but their influence is limited compared to the massive economic and political weight of OmniCorp. OmniCorp promises billions in immediate investment, millions in jobs for Earth's populace, and a swift solution to resource scarcity. That is a difficult promise to ignore when faced with a planet clamoring for solutions. The political reality was stark. The needs of Earth's masses often trump the quiet wisdom of sustainable pioneers. The struggle intensified, shifting from official debates to aggressive lobbying and media manipulation. Earth-based blocs, primarily driven by demographic pressures and nationalist ambitions, demanded priority for their own citizens. The Pan-European Union and the American Commonwealth argued that their significant financial contributions to early space programs and their technological prowess entitled them to the largest quotas for Martian immigration. The Federated Asian States, representing the largest populations on Earth, insisted on a proportional distribution, ensuring their citizens had equal opportunity to emigrate and thrive on the new frontier. Each bloc saw Mars as an extension of their terrestrial influence. The MSA found itself hopelessly caught between the competing demands of its powerful member nations and the immense corporate interests of OmniCorp. Chairman Lee, under immense pressure, attempted to broker a compromise, proposing a complex quota system for immigration and a joint development model for Martian resources. But every concession to one side inflamed another, creating deeper divisions and an atmosphere of intractable gridlock. The dream of a unified Martian future seemed to slip further away with each failed negotiation. OmniCorp, through its extensive media networks and political lobbying, began to subtly undermine NAA's position. They painted NAA as a small, elitist organization, prioritizing technical purity and slow growth over the pressing needs of Earth's desperate populations. They contrasted NAA's careful, gradual approach with OmniCorp's promise of rapid, large-scale development, appealing directly to the public's impatience for tangible Martian progress, portraying themselves as the only entity capable of delivering a swift future. The struggle for Martian control began to deeply polarize Earth's populace. Families, desperate for a new life, saw OmniCorp as their only champion, a beacon of hope in a bleak terrestrial existence. Environmentalists and long-term planners, wary of uncontrolled expansion and unsustainable practices, fervently supported NAA's more cautious, deliberate approach. Political rhetoric grew increasingly heated, often devolving into sensationalist attacks. Mars, once a symbol of humanity's unified ambition, became a stark reflection of humanity's deep-seated divisions. Aris Thorne, witnessing the escalating political turmoil, felt a growing despair. He had designed machines to build a better future, a future of sustainable expansion. Yet, the human element, with its insatiable greed and short-sighted vision, threatened to tear it apart before it even truly began. He tried to advocate for scientific principles, for the long-term viability of the Martian ecosystem, for the lessons learned from the Red Sea. His voice, however, was often drowned out by the clamor of political expediency and the relentless pursuit of corporate profit. He watched, frustrated, as his vision of a carefully nurtured Martian home slipped away. The MSA, after weeks of contentious debate, backroom deals, and diplomatic ultimatums, finally announced its Martian Development Accords. It was a complex, unwieldy document, attempting to satisfy all parties, but ultimately satisfying none fully. It was a testament to political compromise, not visionary leadership. Key provisions included immigration quotas, a complex system prioritizing highly skilled labor from Earth's largest blocks, with a smaller percentage reserved for general population lottery. This heavily favored nations with advanced educational systems but gave a nod to demographic pressure, creating a rigid structure for early Martian society. Resource concessions. Martian resources were declared common heritage, but managed by a consortium of powers. OmniCorp received the largest operational leases in the richest mineral regions, a significant concession to its immense investment and development capabilities. NAAA was granted stewardship over specific scientific research zones and specialized environmental management contracts, leveraging its ISRU expertise for data collection rather than primary extraction. MSA Oversight. A permanent MSA Oversight Committee was established on Mars, tasked with enforcing regulations and mediating disputes. Its initial powers, however, were limited, and its composition heavily influenced by Earth-based blocks, ensuring Earth's continued dominance in decision-making. Martian governance. Mars would be governed directly by the MSA, with input from a newly formed Martian Advisory Council composed of representatives from settling nations and corporations. True Martian self-determination remained a distant dream, perpetually under the thumb of Earth. The Martian Development Accords were a clear victory for Earth-centric powers, particularly OmniCorp. They solidified Earth's political and economic dominance over Mars, transforming the Red Planet into a controlled resource frontier rather than a truly autonomous new world. NAAA, while securing a scientific presence, found its sustainable vision largely sidelined in favor of rapid, if chaotic, expansion. Aris Thorne, in his retirement, watched the first human settlers descend, a bitter taste in his mouth. The machines had prepared a home, but humanity had immediately begun to fight over it. The red seed had sown life, but the Accords had sown division, ensuring that even on a new world, the old fractures of Earth would persist, etched into the very soil of Mars.